I'm going to work with you guys in Module 3, creating a newsletter and a pull quote and graphics. Okay, so this is going on to the, like I said, the next ebook. This ebook is going to be classified as Chapter 7. It will be the last, for the most part, ebook in Word before we transition into working with Excel. Okay, so you know, we're moving along. So what we have here is establishing a new unit. So I'm going to quickly go to the directory or the file location, and let's see if we can't establish a new folder. So I'm going to pull up the File Explorer, and I'm going to go into Documents. I'm going to go into CIS. Right now there's Module 2. So I'm going to right-click and open New and call it Folders. Okay, and I'm going to call it, Module 3. So we now have 3 folders established within this your own directory. So I don't think I have given you directions to create subfolders in Module 3 as I go back and about to jump into the ACIS web resource, which, okay, we're going to drill down to the assignments and get into creating a newsletter, and let's explore that assignment. But real quick, this is a Dropbox for the assignment that would have to be submitted, and there's only going to be one file. You'll see have a lot of downloads, but there's only going to be one file that you're going to be creating, and that's going to be a newsletter. So I asked you guys to get to the web resource of ACIS. I'm already logged in. If you can drill the Module 3, once again, we're going to be dealing with multiple things on a Word document, creating columns, word art, floating graphics, multiple columns. So I think this is should be a very interesting one to get yourself really making a document professional. Newsletters are, you know, a form of communication that people send out to for the most part, giving them information about upcoming events, to activities, you know, corporations, you know, schools. You know, we all have a facet of generating newsletters. So by now you should have done a little overview of Chapter 7. You should have done the pre-test, and this video is now moving on to reviewing the creating a newsletter with pull quotes and graphics. So I'm going to right-click and open and ask you guys to open a new tab. I believe I already have the assignment opened up. Okay, so very similar to last. There's a directions on if you're in the class, and then there's directions virtual. All right, so I'm going to target the grade sheet first, which is nested in the direction, and I'm going to open a new tab, okay, and explore this real quick. So there's a lot of task and little tiny different tweaks you have to do to an object to move it. Word wrap. All right, so if I define this Rubik grade sheet, it's in the thirds, okay? The first one, obviously, it's all saying the same thing, the newsletter. This will be a 2-page newsletter. And so you can see here page 1 from these steps, from point A to point B, from 402 to 423. These are the things you should be doing to the header. And it's going to be the top half of how the top of the front of the newsletter looks for the most part. Okay, 35 points. Then you're going to be getting down to the meat of the body of the first page, and that's going to stem from page 423 to 443. And this is where you're going to be doing the page breaks. You know, you're going to be actually pulling in data. Okay, because you're not going to really have to type much in this newsletter. You're going to be pulling in that data. So you're just going to be manipulating the data you're getting pulled in. We'll talk about that shortly. And then the second page, and second page, I think it's if you guys get through the first page, the second page, I believe, is not that difficult, because you're gaining that understanding of dealing with columns. The third page, the second page would also be columns, and I'll weigh that a little less. Okay, so understanding logistics of the Rubik as I take us back to the website then real quick. Okay, so here's a span of the pages in the ebook, page 402 to page 459. This is again going back with the advanced ebook, you're going to have to be logged into Edmodo. Here's the ebook right here. So I'm going to explore that real quick. But yeah, just in a second. But understand, I see 1 data file, 2 data file, which that is an image. 3 data file, that is going to be an image well, and then some other 2 data file, which is going to be text. So you're going to be dealing with approximately 5 files that you're pulling into this Word document. So if I quickly then jump over to the ebook, which is right here, okay, and scroll down a hair, and this is just overviewing how newsletters are used around the world, and Word is a great place to do them. Here's a snapshot, and I'm going to zoom out for a second. Here's a snapshot of the 2 newsletters. Okay, this part up here is going to be worth 35 points. This part is going to be worth 35 points, and the second page is worth 30. Okay, so this seems like, hey man, that's a lot of text on the screen. Okay, well, you're going to be pulling that text in. You may manipulate the different headers. Understand there's headers and putting footers on here and a graphic design and a pull quote. All right, so these are items that you should be able to pull in. But again, you get down in here and you're going to, for the most part, going to be starting with a template, but the template's going to be, for the most part, blank. Okay, so you can see you get it. It kicks you off by one of the first things that it does with you is just the margins. Okay. And then it gets into the page setup, okay, adjusting those margins on the page setup. So before you actually get and do anything, it's widening out the document a little bit, okay. So when it says creating a nameplate, and that's for the most part the title of the newsletter. So as you scroll down here, understand that, and I broke this in the third too. So if I fly back to these page numbers real quick, page the grade sheet, page 223. This ebook is set up in a manner that it's going to consistently work with the title, okay? And this, you're trying to create a title. And if you cannot exactly get the color exactly like that, don't sweat it. All right, but I'm going to come back up here. Let me just get to page 423. When you get to 423, it has a statement in here, and you may have seen this in the past ebooks, like, okay, breaking point. Okay, if you wish to take a break, this is a good place to do it, because you get done with that header portion and you then get into the body of the newsletter. So understand that I think that's a good place to stop. But if I go back to the website real quick, okay, drilling down to the teacher's notes, okay, and it says, by now you should understand how to obtain the data files, read through the ebook, and build an application, review the below highlighted area. So understand too that this ebook may ask you to pick a certain color or a certain theme or a certain border, like a page border, for example. I'm just making this up, and you're looking at it and you can't find it. And so you can understand, if you end up having roadblocks and you can't really find the point, I have defined this by page numbers, as you can see here, page 410, 417, 421. You will not let you choose the selected pane, skip step if it does not let you. So I'm trying to tell you right there, go ahead and skip that step, or if you can't find the selected pane, okay, so just move on. Okay, page 42, this is where it doesn't actually tell you to save the document until you get to page 422. So I'm just, please let you know, save that in the CIS folder module 3. Again, when you get down to the very end, I don't think it really does until it asks you to print the document until the very, very end. And this is what I've given the directions about in the classroom and virtual, in terms of different things you need to do in terms of printing or saving. So this file right here should be focused on going to the Canvas site and clicking the submit button and uploading the Save Shopping newsletter.